friends, Crystal here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to share the remaining weekly spreads inside of my March 2022 bullet journal setup. In my original video, you would have seen the very first weekly spread come together, but March actually has 5 weeks, and I like to have all of my weeks pre-set up at the beginning of the month rather than waiting for the week to start. So today I'm going to take you through the creation of the other 4 weekly spreads inside of my notebook. One thing that you will notice on all of my weekly spreads is that in addition to the space for my daily to-dos and that sort of thing, I will also have a section that is dedicated to meal planning and a section that is dedicated to daily chores or daily tasks. Those 2 pieces are pivotal for me because I am also trying to manage a career and kids and a home. So I really needed a place where I could keep track of some of those types of items in my weekly layouts that I didn't necessarily find in a lot of other examples that I was looking at for inspiration. So you will see that these weekly layouts are ones that I took some inspiration from other YouTubers, and specifically Lauren Nicole, who I will link down in the description box below. But I did alter them to work for me, which is the best part about bullet journaling, is you can customize your pages to function in a way that works best for your lifestyle. All right, friends, let's grab our beverages. Let's meet over at my table and start planning together. All right, friends, we are going to jump into the second week of April here to get our start. And one of the first things I want to mention here is that I am going to keep my header monthly titles the same or consistent from week to week to week by using the exact same font on all of them. The stamp set that I'm using to create those monthly header titles is the Ali Edwards lined alpha stamp. It is currently sold out, but it does have a notify me button that you can press, and when the stamp set comes back into stock, they will notify you and you can purchase it if it's one that you would like to add to your stash. For the design of this weekly spread, I chose to create 4 boxes on the left side of this layout and 4 boxes on the right side of the layout so that each day of the week could have a box to itself, and then there would be one left over that could become a place for holding some notes. Then underneath my March header title there, I have another skinny box set up where I have a section for each day of the week to add in my meal plan. And underneath the 4 boxes on the right-hand side, I have another daily tracker that's going to hold all of the chores that I need to do for every day of the week. So I typically try to get the same 6 things done every single day. And that gives me the accountability that I need to check off the box and make sure that I'm actually doing those tasks every day. To hold my dates, I created these circles and then I stamped a solid circle in that lighter green pigment ink from Ali Edwards. The name of that ink is Wilmette, and I will be using that one in addition to a darker green called Mackenzie and a very taupey green type of color called St. Helen. Those were my 3 colors for my March color palette. And I'm going to just use one color on each of the layouts. So this one will be Wilmette. The next one I believe will be Mackenzie. And then the next one after that will be St. Helen, and I'll repeat and so on. Now, in addition to the circle space where I'm going to add the date of that specific day, I'm also using this typewriter font stamp set from Ali Edwards to put the first 3 letters of each day on the opposite side of the box from where the number will be. Some of them fill up the whole box. Some of them I am stretching out so that they fill in the larger squares. It does not bother me that they are further apart. I think it's totally fine. I'm also adding the Clear It Out and Clean It Up stamp that was from one of my Ali Edwards Stories by the Month stamps from March. I believe it was the 2021 set, which is also where that square botanical set came from that I used for my cover page, and then you're going to see me use it a little bit on each of the pages to help me tie in some more of that decoration into these layouts and keep everything looking really cohesive. So here is week 2, and now we're going to move on to week number 3. For this one, I'm going to use these really small banners at the top of longer boxes to hold the number for my days. Then I'm going to stamp the word of the day of the week, so Monday through Sunday, underneath that banner, which you'll see here once we get these boxes all sketched out. Again, I am keeping this with the 7 boxes, or I guess that's different from the last ones. This one's going to have 7 boxes as opposed to 8. For me, I like to keep my Saturday and my Sunday separate instead of as one entity because we do a lot on the weekends. So it just makes a lot of sense for me to have the Saturday box where I can add in our events for Saturday and a Sunday box where I can add in our events for Sunday. For this one, I'm using that same lined alpha stamp. I'm stamping out the entire word this time, and then I'm going to flank the word with that square botanical using the Mackenzie darker green ink from Ali Edwards. I've also included a spot for meal planning, which I'm leaving open this time instead of closing it in and making it a bunch of different boxes. And then I also have a smaller chore chart where I'm still tracking those daily chores every day of the week. And I have a spot to check those off as I'm completing them. I've also got a small section underneath my chore chart for adding notes in. I generally don't have a lot of notes that I need to keep track of, so I don't need a large section for that. Just a little bit of space in case something comes up that I want to jot down and document there. To help differentiate the different days inside of my meal plan for this one, I used a gray mild liner pen to create the spaces for writing in my meals. And I should also mention that I'm using a brown mild liner marker as well to fill in some of those title spaces and some of the banners or those types of things. I like the way that the greens and the browns play together and give it this really earthy feel. Now we are working on week number 4. For this one, I made all of my boxes connect together, and I'm using that same circle type of look for this one too. These are all ideas that, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I really found through Lauren Nicole's videos. I loved watching hers because she gave me a wide variety of different ideas for weekly layouts, and all I needed to do was figure out how to alter them so I could include my meal planning and my chore tracking for each week of the month. Generally, that means that my daily boxes are a bit smaller than you might see on most bullet journal pages, but I also don't need a ton of space to write in the daily stuff because this planner is just going to be for my home and family life. I'm not putting anything work related in this planner unless it's an event that's going to take place that my whole family needs to be aware of. So for example, if I'm hosting a Zoom event on a Saturday, I will put that into this planner, but I'm not putting my day-to-day work tasks in here. Those are going into a separate planner that you will see a little bit later this month. For this one, I'm using the St. Helen ink, which is that taupey color, but it does have a green undertone to it, which makes it go super nice with all of the other green tones that I have been using throughout this layout. And it also goes very nice with that brown mild liner marker as well. For this one, I stamped the day of the week above the circle. I added the dates into the circle, and then I've got both my meal plan and my chore chart underneath the main grid there with all of the days of the week. Love the way that this one turned out. It's very clean, and there's just something about it that feels organized and orderly, and that's something I really appreciate in a layout. For this last one, I wanted to return back to the banners that I created for the intro pages of my entire album. These were banners that I learned to draw from Lauren Nicole. She's been a giant inspiration for me getting started in bullet journaling for the very first time. and they're just fun to draw. Now, I do realize that I accidentally made one of them too long. The Friday banner is 1 square longer than all of the other ones, and I didn't even realize it until I get to this point where I was retracing over all of my pencil lines in this fine liner pen. Whoops, it's okay. I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it as is, and it's totally fine. It's actually really hard to tell, so I'm not too worried about it. Again, I stamped out the full March word on the side of the page. I added that botanical square stamp into the 4 corners of the layout. And then I've got a skinny section on the far right side there for my meal planning, a little section for notes underneath that, and then my chore chart at the bottom underneath the last banner. For the banners, these are going to separate out the 7 days of the week. I'm going to stamp out the day of the week on one side of the banner, and I'm going to stamp out the actual dates on the other side. While I'm doing that, I will quickly mention the 6 things that I do every day for my chore chart. They are make the beds, and then do a load of laundry, declutter the house, vacuum or sweep up the floor after dinner, wipe down all of the counters, and deep clean the sink, which I just have a homemade solution that I use for that. All right, so let's do a final flip through here of all 4 weeks, and then I will see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I'll see you guys next time.